Just over 21 years ago, a young South African banker, Kevin Vermaak, returned home after working in the UK with the idea of starting an 8-day mountain bike stage race. That race is the Absa Cape Epic, now the most prestigious event in its category in the world. Kevin is no longer involved with the Epic, but in 2024 he in effect reinvented the wheel with a dynamic and innovative twist when he launched a 7-day gravel-specific stage race called the Nedbank Gravel Burn.
Gravel is the new exciting category for amateur bike racing, and it started off in North America, and today there's virtually every weekend in the summer in the US there's a massive gravel race. And now that's spread to Europe, and now it's spread to South Africa too. And South Africa's got a special affinity with stage racing. You know, we kind of invented the two-person team mountain bike stage race format. Well, the Cape Epic is by and large one of the most important mountain bike stage races in the world. So, you know, we're on the cusp of creating what we feel will be the world's premier gravel stage race. It's developed by the same team that launched the Cape Epic 20 years ago, working with myself. Came up with the idea of the Epic, and now I've also come up with the idea of the Gravel Burn. The race is going to take riders from Knysna to Avontuur, and then to Willowmore, and then to Graaff Reinet, and then from Graaff Reinet into Blaauwater farm, which is even further north than Graaff Reinet into the Great Karoo, and then to Cradock, and then to Middleton, and then finally we're finishing off at a Big 5 game reserve, the Shamwari private game reserve. And to ride through a Big 5 game reserve is obviously something very special for South Africans, for international riders alike. And in fact, the riders will camp in one of our burn camps on the Shamwari private game reserve, so truly a special African experience.
Kevin believes the event will turn the spotlight on the Great Karoo region.
I feel that Graaff Reinet is going to become, for gravel biking, what Stellenbosch is for mountain biking, because the gravel roads around Graaff Reinet and the Great Karoo are truly some of the best in the world. And it's not only me saying that, you know, every rider that goes to Graaff Reinet is just astounded by the beauty of the place and the long, wide, open gravel roads, which are truly special to behold. And you know, there's a reason why gravel is exploding. It's a beautiful format of bike riding.
The evidence is plain to see, both locally and internationally, that gravel riding and racing is on a sharp upward trajectory in terms of events and participation. But just why is it so popular?
Gravel riding is for all comers. You know, you get on a gravel bike and you can ride on the road and you can hop onto the pavements and avoid traffic. But of course you can head off onto a gravel road just as easily, and it allows riders to go to areas of the country which they wouldn't otherwise normally get to. So it's a special way to see the country.
To some, the Nedbank Gravel Burn might, on the face of it, appear to resemble a mountain bike stage race. However, those lucky enough to ride this year's event will soon realise that it is very different.
We specifically wanted to make a true gravel route, and we weren't taking a mountain bike race and converting it into a gravel race or opening it up to gravel riders. We designed the course from ground up for gravel bikes, and that means that the terrain is nowhere near as technical as a single track mountain bike course, but it allows for speed, and that is what we're after: off-road, high-speed gravel racing.
So who can or should ride the Nedbank Gravel Burn, and what are the specific details around the inaugural race?
So the Nedbank Gravel Burn is 7 days and in total 850 kilometers and over 11,000 meters of climbing. It's certainly a challenge to finish it, and we want that medal that you will receive when you get to Shamwari to really mean something. But I would say that the technical nature of the race is such that most cyclists can do it. So I feel that if you put in the effort to train to get the appropriate level of fitness, you can finish the Nedbank Gravel Burn. I don't think that the technical requirement of the course will be such that it's a limiting factor.
While the two events are very different riding experiences, the emergence of the Nedbank Gravel Burn as a pioneer event in its category bears a remarkable number of similarities to the Absa Cape Epic.
You know, we saw the opportunity 20 years ago where mountain biking was a booming sport, and there were many one-day races. The World Cup circuit had been introduced a few years earlier. The first mountain bike Olympics had taken place. But there was no preeminent mountain bike stage race, and we sought to take that gap and take that opportunity with the Cape Epic And to be honest, it's deja vu. It's the same opportunity is presenting itself for gravel, because one-day gravel races have exploded worldwide. The big races, the ones that are attracting the world's best road cyclists and mountain bikers, and there's this merging of the two sports in gravel racing, they're all one-day races. And we see the opportunity around launching a gravel stage race. And that's why our goal is to be the world's #1 gravel stage race, because the opportunity is there for the taking, just like it was with mountain biking 20 years ago.
With decades of experience in presenting week-long stage races, the organisers have learned what entrants do and don't want from a riding perspective, and very importantly, from the off-the-bike perspective.
The Nedbank Gravel Burn is all about the 24-hour immersive experience of riding through the Karoo, but also getting off your bike, mingling with other riders, enjoying a beer around a fire, waking up in your tent, sitting on a camp chair next to the fire, having a coffee and a rusk, and then heading off on potentially one of the most beautiful bike rides of your life. The unique thing with this is that it's open for professionals and amateurs, and we've obviously targeted some of the biggest names in the sport, and so it's very international. We've closed the entries to the race; it's sold out. And it's about 45% of the riders are international, and all I can say is that we've got some significant athletes entering the race.
The race villages are, by all accounts, going to be very different from those we have become accustomed to at other stage races.
I'd like to think that for the Nedbank Gravel Burn, we are reimagining life in a race village. We're in fact calling them burn camps to signify the difference to other villages of stage races. And we're dividing the camp up into much smaller pockets of tents that have each got their own campfire and each got their own services, so that it becomes quite intimate. Can you imagine, riding 800 Ks with some of your mates through the Karoo? That's what you're trying to create en masse. And hence there's no bar or chill zone or going to buy your beer, but actually we deliver a cooler box of free beer, free wine, free coffee in the morning and after your bike ride. And you drink it like you enjoy life off the bike the way you would with your mates that are going on a tour through the Karoo. And that's what you're trying to create in a large scale in the Burn camp. And most recently, 25 riders from Nedbank and from Toyota and a number of other sponsors had a fabulous 3 days of riding in the Karoo. And to the rider, everyone loved the experience, and they could also appreciate the difference between what we're doing in our burn camps and what happens at other stage races in South Africa.
With Kevin's experience and reputation for putting on world-class events, it didn't take long for a number of blue-chip multinationals to show interest in getting on board as sponsors.
So we signed Nedbank as the title sponsor for the first event, and it's an exciting partnership because, I think Nedbank and the Gravel Burn, we see a future where we actually create something auspicious that's iconic, that's iconically African, and it's basically puts South Africa on the map for gravel stage racing. We've announced the biggest prize purse in gravel cycling worldwide for a single event, and that's quite cool because the biggest prize purse for mountain biking and the biggest prize purse for gravel racing are both awarded in South Africa. We signed a number of international partners as well. We've got ASOS as our official cycling apparel. We've got WeWork providing our office space in Cape Town. We've got Toyota as our official vehicle. Toyota has traditionally supported mountain biking and particularly gravel racing because Matt Beers obviously wins the Epic, but he is far more well known as a gravel cyclist in North America. And Toyota's backed him, and now they've also backed the Gravel Burn as our official vehicle.
As one of the first pro-elite gravel stage races, the Nedbank Gravel Burn will be the template for gravel stage racing rules and regulations.
There are no rules for gravel stage racing. We chose to do it as a singles race. We could have done it as a two-person team race if we wanted to, but I think the format for the Gravel Neo Pros was already established, and there's a few reasons. From a safety perspective, I think that it's a lot easier to look back for your partner and make sure you're riding with your partner on single track where you're going a bit slower. But when you're riding for an hour at 40, 50 Ks an hour on a gravel road in a peloton of 100 riders, I don't want to have any reason why a rider might be looking back for their partner to see if he or her is still with them in the peloton, and then who knows, they bring the whole peloton down. So safety was a big factor, but also what's exciting about the solo categories of the Gravel Burn is that we'll be doing leader jerseys and age group rankings for every age group, from obviously pro elite, but then 18 to 35, 35 to 40, 40 to 45, etc., all the way up to the oldest rider in the race for both men and women. All the prize money is in the pro elite category. The amateur age groupers will be winning a very special, iconic, unique prize for winning the age group category.
Here's Kevin with the good news and the not so good news.
This year's race will take place from the 26th of October until the 1st of November. And unfortunately, the entries are already sold out for this first event. And yeah, I mean, we're going to be filming it once again, and I'd like to think we would have a phenomenal TV production around the event. And we'll be opening a waiting list from May onwards. And you know, we've announced the dates for next year as well. That's something to look forward to.